Hello, welcome to Expressive Arts. We are going to cover the course syllabus in this lecture, so let me share my screen with you. And you should be seeing that now. So this is an 8-week class. It's a combination of online students and face-to-face students. The face-to-face students will meet in G216 every day of the week from 10 to 11. Just like we did with the intro class. So if you're online, all of your work will be in Blackboard. All right. Your participation is required. You need to be participating regularly. It Make sure that you're putting your DQ responses in and your replies. Make sure that you're submitting your work on time, things like that. Right? If you don't submit your work, then that looks like you are absent or like you are not participating. Okay, so make sure that you do that. You have my information here. There's my work number, my work email. I do prefer that you contact me through messages in Blackboard if it's about this specific class. If it's about something else, if you need to talk about an advising appointment, then yes, use my email. But it helps me stay organized if the messages pertaining to this class are in the class. It just helps me out a lot if I don't have to backtrack and go through old emails to find what we're talking about. This course focuses on the development and application of materials, activities, and experiences that encourage young children's creativity and aesthetic appreciation through visual arts, music, body movement, creative, open-ended thinking, dramatic arts, and play. And you get 3 credits for this course. So, like I said, it's an 8-week course, and we're squishing it into just the 8 weeks. So each week has twice as much as it would if we were having the class over the whole semester. Okay. I'm not going to read through the whole syllabus. You have it. It's in Blackboard. You can read through it yourself, but please do make sure that you have access to it. Download it to your device. I recommend printing it. I understand you may not want printed pages around, but at least download it if you don't print it. And then you have it so that if your internet goes out or something, at least you have the syllabus and you know what assignments you need to be working toward. Okay. So course objectives are here. So these are the things that the course will cover. Okay. So we'll look at the creativity. We'll look at, of course, family, culture, community. We always look at those things in every early childhood course just because they're so important. We're going to look at developmentally appropriate practices, look at exploring the goals for the arts, identifying the goals for music, for visual arts, for music, for movement, for dramatic art. We're going to look at how to help children develop that appreciation of similarities, differences, how we can develop that appreciation as well. Examine the importance of play. And of course, it's all important, right? That they have those opportunities to choose to work on something that's their interest. All right, so student learning outcomes. These are what is really important to you as a student, okay? And these are what your essay questions will be based on in the final exam for this course. So you should have mastery over each of these by the end of the course. So refer back to these every once in a while and make sure that you are getting what you need to out of this course. If there's anything that we haven't discussed in depth enough that you feel you need a little bit more, let me know. Okay, I'm happy to do that with you. But make sure that you're getting what you need to out of this course, okay? And I will make sure that you're getting what you need to by putting these in your final exam for your assessment to see where you are with your knowledge base of the material, okay? So make sure that you refer back to these as we go through the course, and that you spend some time looking at these before you take the final exam. And if you have questions on any of that, let me know, okay? So here's kind of a basic outline of the course, instructional materials. We are using Creativity in the Arts with Young Children. It is a Cengage book, and we're using the 3rd edition. So if you have Cengage Unlimited, you're set. You can find your book in that package and have it. If you do not have Cengage Unlimited, this is the information you need, okay? Make sure you have the correct edition of the textbook. Sometimes students can use a different edition and get by, but it's never ideal, okay? So 3rd edition is what we're using. Supplemental texts, I just have the early learning guidelines in here. I refer to those in almost every class. If you don't have a copy of those, you can access it online. You can download it. You can print it if you need to. If you've attended any of the ELG trainings, you should have a copy of it. You can also purchase it online, although, I mean, it's available. You don't need to buy it. And then we just look at Nebraska standards. So you don't have to purchase either of these. You do need your textbook though, okay? These are the assignments that we have in the class. And so you have a good breakdown of what you're going to be doing, what each assignment's worth. It's important to note that your playbook is a big assignment that you're going to be working on throughout the whole class. That's worth a 10th of your grade. That's a big percentage of your grade. So you'll want to complete it and do well on that. Your final exam is worth a little more than a 5th of your grade. So, and that will be comprehensive. It will cover everything from day 1 through the end of class, okay? You have those 3 getting started assignments. You have 7 DQs in this class worth 20 points each. You have 10 chapter quizzes. There are 10 chapters in our textbook. Those are worth 20 points each. You have to complete 3 presentations, and those are worth 50 points each, and 3 individual projects worth 50 points each. And there's a project bank that you will choose from. With those, you will find something that will be beneficial to you, either in your future classroom or in your current classroom. With individual projects, if you look at the list and it kind of makes you get a little bit creative, and you start thinking about another idea, and you are thinking, wow, I wish that was one of the choices, please let me know. I'm not saying that I will approve it, but I am saying I will consider it. If it's a reasonable substitute for one of the other projects, I'm always open to looking at your creative ideas. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're looking through the project bank. And that's what we've got to do this for this class. Here's your grading scale. It's pretty typical, just what WNCC uses. And now we get into the fun part. So this is your schedule. Like, this is everything that's due each week. Okay, so in week 1, to start with, you do the getting started folder. You go through all of that, make sure you know what you need to know from there. Complete those getting started assignments, and there are 3 of them, and they are due the first Friday of the class, okay? So make sure you get in there and get those done. And then you'll complete your week 1 module, okay? We're looking at creativity in this week's materials. You have a DQ and a chapter quiz that are due. In week 2, we have 2 chapters. You'll have lectures and videos to watch. You'll have a DQ. Your first individual project is due, and 2 quizzes. In week 3, again, we have 2 chapters, videos to watch, a DQ. You have a presentation on visual arts due, and that, please note, that's due on Friday. Okay, you don't have through the weekend to get that done. You have to submit it Friday, and 2 quizzes. In week 4, again, 2 chapters, a DQ, a presentation on music arts, and 2 quizzes. In week 5, we only have 1 chapter, okay? So our load is a little bit lighter. So you have videos to watch, and there are quite a few videos in this week. You have a DQ, a presentation on dramatic arts. And by this time, you will have gotten quite a bit of feedback from your past presentations and so the quality of those presentations that you're submitting by this point should be very high. All right. And then you have a quiz. In week 6, we have Thanksgiving break. And so I'm just encouraging you, we don't have a DQ in week 6. I'm encouraging you to work on your playbook, which is not due until week 8, but there's a lot to it. There's a lot of pieces. You have to have 20 different items added to your playbook. And so that's something that you need to work on as you go through the class, but especially this week. So this is also the Monday of week 6 is your last day to drop an 8-week class. I need to know what your final exam plan is. So if you're taking it at the testing center, make your appointment. And in the assignment link, just tell me what day and what time you're doing it at the testing center. If you are someone who needs to have your test proctored elsewhere, because you are out of the area or you are out of state, out of the country, you have to find a proctor. It could be your school counselor. It has to be someone who's appropriate and who has a place for you to quietly take your exam. Sometimes a library, like a local library, might do this for you. But if this is something you need, you can talk to me, ask your questions, but you need to have that set. You need to have it in place and approved by me by week 6. Okay. You need to have your time, your date, who your proctor is, the whole thing planned and approved by week 6. Okay. Please, if you have questions about that, let me know. Okay, I'm happy to talk with you, but your final exam does have to be proctored. I prefer that you do it at the WNCC testing center unless you are like physically out of the area. Okay. If you're a high school student going to Gordon Rushville, you might get your school counselor to proctor it, but you still need to give me that information ahead of time so that I can verify that they're an appropriate proctor, and then you'll have the information to put in your assignment. Okay. If you go to high school here in Scottsbluff or Gearing or nearby, you can come to the WNCC Scottsbluff campus and take your final exam at the testing center. Okay. So if you have questions, again, please let me know. Thanksgiving break this year is Wednesday, starts Wednesday. So we only have 2 days. So face-to-face students will meet in class Monday and Tuesday and bring your playbooks. You will work on those in class. And then we'll have the long break. So week 7, we kind of get back on track. We have a chapter, a DQ. You have individual project. The IP stands for individual project, and you have a quiz. And then week 8, again, it's pretty basic, but we have that playbook that's also due this week. Okay, so you have your read your chapter, watch the lectures, DQ, individual project. You have your playbook due on Friday, and a chapter quiz, and you need to review for your final exam. And I will, for in-class students, we'll do that in class. For face-to-face, I mean, for online students, I will record a review, and it'll be a short review, but I will record something to give you an idea of what you need to prepare for. Okay. And then during finals week, for online students, the final exam window will be open Monday at 8, and it will close at Wednesday at 4. So you have to have your appointment sometime between those days. It does close Wednesday at 4, so you have to have it done by then. The latest you'll be able to make your appointment at the testing center would be 2 that day to have the full 2 hours to complete your exam. Okay. For face-to-face students, we will be taking the exam in the classroom Monday of finals week at 10 at our typical class time, but we have the full 2 hours. So if you are a high school student taking it, you need to make sure that you plan, and your school knows that you need to do that to plan the full 2 hours for the final exam. Okay. So that's it for the syllabus and the schedule. Please remember, no late work is allowed. Get your stuff done on time or work ahead. If you have questions of any kind about the syllabus, the schedule, the different assignments, let me know. Okay. The project bank, the things that you can choose from for your individual projects, is in the Getting Started folder in the same area where your class syllabus is. So that's where you'll find that. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay. I'm here to help you be successful in this class, and that's what I really want to happen. So let me know what your questions are. All right. And I will see you again in the week 1 lecture for the week 1 materials on creativity. If you're an online student, if you're a face-to-face student, I will see you on Wednesday at 10 a.m.